Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is I would say, the biggest Ukrainian drone attack on Russia to date. I've never heard of the Ukrainians using in one attack this many drones. The Russians claim that they downed a lot of them, about 32, and that makes, I think, about half or so. So I have here two articles coming from the Ukrainian side, which claims that, let's start with the Ukrainska Pravda, what the hell, right? Claims that Ukrainian drones strike many targets in Russia. So this is from today, and here it is. Ukrainian drones strike, according to the Institute for the Study of War. They're experts from the Institute for the Study of War. They're no experts. I mean, why? If they're experts, then I don't think that they are intellectually honest. Some of them, I read some articles as some studies that were really not studies. They were opinion-making pieces. Have assessed that Ukrainian drones launched over the past day likely hit many of their intended targets in Russia, as evidenced by a difference in numbers. The Ukrainians announced more than 70 drones launched. The Russians said 32 had been intercepted. When the Russians conducted their the biggest massive attack days ago, on the 29th of December, they launched about what? Exactly 158 missiles and drones, out of which there were less than 70 drones. I have never heard, and I'm reading at least 3 times a day the news, which is about at least 20 articles, 30 at least, but I go over the entire whatever browser I have, and I've never heard the Russians hitting Ukraine with 70 drones. I heard 50, about 50. Even yesterday, actually it was today, not yesterday. Today, the Russians launched, what was that? 50 drones. I covered that earlier in the morning. Today, the 31st of December, and there were 50 drones and 8 missiles. It is true that the Ukrainians do not have the capability yet to launch massive missile attacks, but drones, I think they beat the Russians on this one. If that's true, 70 drones launched. Details. Ukrainian forces reportedly conducted a large series of strikes on targets in Russia on the night of the 29th and 30th December and the 30th of December. Ukrainian security sources told Western and Ukrainian media that on the night of 29 and 30 December, Ukrainian forces launched more than 70 drones at Russian military infrastructure and defense and industrial facilities near Moscow, Belgorod, Tula, Tver, and Bryansk. Now that's a long way. All right, so you can look at Bryansk, Belgorod, Moscow, and let's see, find a map. I mean, I have a map, but I don't know if that's going to be it is. I left on this. So here is Belgorod is right here, where the Russians claimed that, let me get myself out of this, where the Russians claimed, not claimed because I saw videos actually, and the Ukrainians hit the Belgorod, the city of Belgorod, killing about 22 civilians, 110 or so others wounded, and so on. Right here, terrorist attack. Yeah, I'm not blaming only the Ukrainians. I don't forget that on the 29th the Russians did that to Kiev and others, but nevertheless. So that is the Belgorod right here. Bryansk is right here, and then we go to Moscow, and then you got Tula over here, and I think Tamorov was the another one. Let me see if this is it. No, Tula, Tver, and Bryansk, Moscow, Belgorod. I don't know if I'm gonna look for Tver here, right here is Tver. So it's north of Moscow, northwest of Moscow. You got south of Moscow. You got right here by the border with Belgorod. You got Bryansk. So this is the area, and over in Tver right here, where they used 70 drones, more than 70, they said. Ukrainian sources described the strike as a response to the 29 December Russian attack which was the largest series of unmanned and missile strikes on Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion. But you outdone those guys, correct? The Russian Defense Ministry said Russian forces intercepted 32 Ukrainian drones in Bryansk, Oryol, Kursk, and Moscow Oblast on the night of 29 and 30. Oryol should be somewhere as well in this right here. So this is Ukraine. Let me just make it a little smaller. If this is Ukraine, Oryol is right here. And ram pam pam, that's me. Okay. Analysts noted a discrepancy between Russian and Ukrainian flights may indicate that Ukrainian forces hit many of their intended targets, and the Russians are just only civilians. You know, it's very interesting. The Russians seem to be very accurate in destroying civilian targets, but not military targets. But the Ukrainians only military targets. I wonder why. Well, it could be because the Ukrainians are good and the Russians are bad. That's kindergarten level infantile argumentation, or because the Russians military is bad, you know, the missiles and all this, their technology is, but somehow they send people in space, rockets, missiles, and satellites. And I've never seen, that was the wrong word. I haven't seen many of the Russians, you know, satellites being shot into the space, being, but I've seen a few Challengers, weren't they? One or two? Not only satellites, they need engine, I think the Russian engines to pull their satellites up. Yeah, the Americans, I think they're working on building their engines. But nevertheless, the Russians are hitting boom, bam, bam, but the Ukrainians are right there with the Western weapons and their, Jesus Christ, I mean, this is so garbage bad. Anyway, I had to claim it, say it, because it's just funny, ridiculous. Next article. The New Voice of Ukraine. Russia claims it downed 32 Ukrainian drones across 4 oblasts. Again, 32 drones, and those drones were purportedly taken down over the regions of Bryansk, or Oryol, Kursk, and Moscow Oblast. Now we have Kursk as well, which is right here. So everything happened. Okay, I'm going to get myself out of this. Everything happened in the northeast of Ukraine, right here, let's put it this way, on the map. So north, south, east, west, whatever here. So we got Tula, we got Moscow, we got Tver, we got Kursk, Bryansk, Belgorod. Did I miss anything in this area? Anyway, let's go back to the article. These drones were taken down over the regions as pop. The government of Bryansk Oblast claimed that 6 drones were shot down over Bryansk and the Bryansky district at night. Belgorod claimed Zipo 1 man injured. So I'm surprised that the Ukrainians had more than 70 drones, and they were functional, and they went that far as to get Moscow. Moscow is what, about from the border, what, 400 kilometers or so? So it is 4 or 5. It is very far if you consider a drone, but the drones can fly, if I remember, about 1,000 miles or so. Now it depends on the drone. And the precision, if they hit anything, I don't know if they hit anything or not, but they flew over there. That means they can do it. Next time they're going to send all of them to Moscow, including about 3 or 4 missiles, and then we're going to have some targets hit in Moscow. That's what they will do. I foresee that happening within, let's say, 2 months, just to be liberal on this one. I don't want to say a month, but they're planning. And the same thing the Ukrainians, NATO will do with the Crimean bridge, Kerch Bridge. And I know people don't like when I say this, but, you know, truth or facts are really, they don't care about your little feelings. But the thing is, or opinions not based on facts, it's just, and not necessarily. I think they will have 2 major attacks, one on Kerch Bridge, and that will be successful, and the other one in Moscow, that would hit 1 or 2 targets important enough for the Ukrainians to show everybody else, see what we've done, and NATO is behind and said, yeah, we did it, not you. But nevertheless, still they will do it, even if it's just this will be symbolic victories. I'm talking about Moscow. If they hit the Kerch Bridge, there's not going to be symbolic. In a way, yes. In another, no. But it's going to be boosting morale and pride. So they can go, more of them, and be eliminated by the Russians. And the other ones are counting their money. And the stock market going up. Very good, very good. But you're defending your country, and that's what matters. That's what they want you to believe. All these things could have been stopped, prevented, and stopped while it was developing. But you got the interests who said, no, that's not going to happen. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.